But it doesn't matter when you have 15 million daily active users because your users are probably seeing at least 5 or 6 interstitials
So
when they're
once
playing
more,
this.
600
More. Yeah.
between 600 and a million a day.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to
confirm. Honestly,
Which is
I
IAP
think
revenue. It's like 100% of revenue for this game.
I think it can be even more.
I've heard some rumors that it was.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Matei drops knowledge made of gold and ice. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jack up designs, worlds chasing the skies. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Matei, Felix, Shaka bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Matei, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jacob's crafted realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
I will do it. Hello. Welcome. This 2.5 Gamers episode. My name is Matej Lančarič.
My name is Felix Broberg.
and I'm Jakub Remjar.
And we are your hosts. Are you looking forward to the episode? We're talking about...
I really am. Like,
really?
this is
No way.
a huge game. It's like a monolith in our industry because it gets so many downloads, and I think this is going to be our shortest episode of one of the biggest games because it's so simple.
It is.
Usually so simple things are hidden behind the surface.
Exactly.
Exactly. And we are covering Block Blast by
Finally.
Hungry Studios.
Yeah.
Finally, clap everyone that wanted to cover this. We're finally doing this.
Yeah, and you know what? It's great because we actually attended a talk at Appfest, Unity, and Felix was taking notes, so now he's going to read those notes. Because there's like... yeah, because you're like, okay, listen. I said, like, look, let's just meet and outside. Like, no. I really want to see this because this is interesting. It was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, one thing I know about Chinese studios, because Hungry Studios are from China, that if a studio is drowning, another studio would throw them a cinder block. They wouldn't help out, right? So I don't know how much you can take what they said, like, in the talk to be true. So, like, it's not really the Helsinki attitude where you help other people. It's more the...
Yeah. You don't
kill,
yeah,
right?
you don't really
But yeah,
know. You
This
don't really
reminds me of the Founder McDonald's movie, pretty much what he said there.
Can you just start, maybe Remo, by just saying how many downloads this game gets every day? Because
Let's
it's
start
7.
with the
nuts.
numbers today.
Said that.
yeah, the numbers here.
okay.
Numbers win.
Okay.
And this, as I said, because everybody was like, Remo, we need to cover this. It is the right time we covered it because the right time is now, as always.
Really.
So this
It's
thing
always
broke
too
records,
late.
and
Okay,
during the
fair.
end of the year, it was doing 1,200,000 downloads a day.
Because it's ad-driven and
Yeah.
they were making shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Hey.
Let's do the bullshit filter. So yeah,
Bullshit filter is what country filter?
like I'm bullshit the thing basically. Anyway, so US is 13%. Actually, you could see that it's kind of very stable there, but definitely towards the end of the year.
with the sound features.
By the end of the year,
Too
they
late,
doubled
too
US
late.
traffic to like 200,000 downloads a day on US only. And then we have the typical culprits of like India, Brazil, Indonesia, Philippines, and then comes UK, Mexico, Russia, Germany. Yeah, so it's there's a lot of traffic coming from the US definitely, but it's mostly tier 2, tier 3 driven. That's there. Regarding revenue, there's not much of it. Like you won't see
0.
Yeah, it says like 1K, whatever. This is like some hallucination here. Yeah, so we don't cover that one. And then
Go active users. Go to active users. It's just
retention.
nuts.
I will get that retention. 51% day 1, 32% day 7, 21% day 30, and 10% day 90. Like crazy numbers showing here.
Wait.
But
Right.
as usual.
This is happiness multiplier in this case because everybody said the sensor tower retention is way better
Yeah,
than it in
it's happiness
reality.
multiplier. Yeah, yeah. But yeah,
But still,
so
even
game-
if it's
the game hit
7.
its peak during the end of the year. Now, like pretty much like 2 weeks ago, where it was doing like million plus a day. Now it's still doing 800K a day, like literally yesterday, which is
Woohoo.
still more than it was doing the whole last 2 years per day at all.
would you say this is a slow hockey stick?
Oh, this is pretty much
This is a rising dragon.
yeah, this is a rising dragon, I would say, because you know, like Chinese dragons, they're very long. It's
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
very long. Then the head rolls higher.
Go to active users again. Did you see that number?
Wow.
We have a new
For-
curve term.
Jesus Christ.
See, this is the
It's
Chinese
nearly,
dragon.
it's nearly 15 million daily active users, and it's only ad driven. This is going to be, when we get to the ad part, this is going to be enormous numbers we're going to be talking about here because, as you know, the key to making a lot of ad revenue is just having a lot of users
Yeah.
watching a lot of ads, right? So,
Yeah.
like, this game does both. But yeah,
Yeah,
pretty impressive
2 million
numbers.
daily active users in US. So
Mm.
yeah, a lot.
Just wow.
But yeah, definitely. Like, see, I see the Chinese dragon right there in it.
Yeah, I see
Now
the
I
Chinese
can't
dragon
unsee.
too.
I can't unsee it.
Okay, let's go to. Oh no, one more thing. If we look the category ratings, there's Block Blast, and there's nobody else. That's how
Yes,
it looks.
Pretty
basically.
much. Pretty much.
So yeah, guys are pretty much wiping the floor with all the other games that you see here because there's definitely a lot of block games as you see there. Not all of them have the same kind of core, but there's definitely a lot of them.
Not
And
all of them had 30 million downloads in last 30 days.
exactly. And the other thing is that if we look at the IP revenue wise, there's Color Block Gem, which looks very, very interesting, and it's actually a new take from Rolik that looks kind of
Would you say take 2?
yeah, which is already doing like $500,000 a month. So we'll definitely get to it somewhere later because it seems that somebody took notes from Block Blast and then turned it into something quite unique, as it seems, as Rolik is kind of accustomed by
Yeah.
their iteration pipeline in Puzzle, which is their hybrid casual staple.
Would you say hybrid casual?
Yeah, this is definitely hybrid casual for sure.
If you have a hybrid casual game, guys, there's something really exciting. There's still super hybrid competition, which is still out there. You know, we talked about it, but it's worth repeating. So Supersonic from Unity is hosting a competition and looking for the next hybrid hit. They're calling it Super Hybrid. So superhybrid.com or the QR code you see on the screen right now. So these guys have really strong team of publishing experts, including game designers, game economy specialists, and they can take your game from hybrid to hybrid business. They're offering full support, all the great incentives for eligible games up to 10K monthly while you're iterating, and 30K in bonuses when your game hits the milestones. Everything is non-recoupable, which is great. They even have a special financial package for live games that are ready to scale. So you've got until January 30 to enter. So send your game in to Supersonic. It's Supersonic and Super Hybrid. Take your game to the next level. Again, thank you very much, Supersonic, for sponsoring the episode. And we can continue with Block
This
Blast.
amazing show.
Yeah, so it's really amazing how simple the feature set of this monster is.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised because I was always like kind of nagged, like, why don't we review this? Right? I like, yeah, it's like ad-driven, very simple game, and like now we really need to review it. Yeah, so actually when you start the game, you don't even see the main menu, I don't think so. You would ever even see
No.
the main menu because
No,
it
no,
never
no.
shows itself. It just keeps
Yeah.
you in the core and tries to keep you there forever. I was like literally like, let me get out of this. To
Well,
get
essentially, if you stay in the core, you watch
Yeah.
more interstitial ads.
Yeah,
right?
you don't
Which
even
is what
get to
this
the
is
main
all
menu
about.
ever. So that's there. So the core starts with the classic mode, where the classic mode is pretty much you playing Block Blast, which is this kind of very nice iteration on the Tetris core, which means you need to match stuff either vertically or horizontally for it to disappear, and it gives you points in the process. And
Ooh.
that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening.
very simple. Like, nothing really to it. But as I said, it's definitely more than meets the eye because we don't see any other copies that are even like a little bit behind these guys. These guys are just like so far ahead against each other.
What the COO, when we were in Game Fest, was saying was that basically all levels are different for users based on the difficulty. So basically, they play around with the difficulty and try to tailor it for every user. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Man.
basically, I watched a lot of YouTube videos when I was playing this as well, and it was saying how people said, oh, that level looks different for me when you're on that level, right? So
Heaven, our friend from Century Games, he said he knows them, and it's a small team, and he said basically they're obsessed with A/B testing, so they're testing everything. So what you just said, it's absolutely true.
But that should be the attitude with puzzle games, definitely.
Yeah,
That's how you do quality puzzle games, basically. Yeah, so I can play this until I pretty much lose, and the lose condition, so you know, is that the whole I can lose like pretty fast now that I think of it. The lose
Please
condition
do.
is that I cannot place any more blocks on the screen, and I will then the game will offer me some kind of
you will still do it.
I can still do it.
Yeah, you said it.
Shit.
Finally, you know
Play
how to
right
play
into
this
it.
game. Yes, you still will. Yeah, you still.
We can still that. Yeah, there we go.
yeah, there we go.
So there's the revive interstitial, and if you don't click it, you don't have it. But sometimes I thought it would like play itself. Did you get this thing?
No.
That
You have
sometimes
revive here.
after
No.
the timer runs out, it would anyway go into interstitials.
Yeah, oh yeah, but
Yeah.
that's kind of standard, right?
I mean,
So
Mhm.
there we go.
more money.
Yeah. What's this free one? Oh, even I have boosters. I don't know. I had boosters.
There you go. And you said it's simple.
Yeah, like so much stuff hidden under the surface. Like for sure, there needs to be something like that.
mean,
What's there?
They're making shit ton of money, right? So it's
Yeah.
never simple.
Yeah, it's never simple with these things. Okay, I'm dead now.
No, you're not. Yeah, there's exactly.
Shit.
And it reminds me, I did the same thing yesterday with Katarina, but it was puzzle, and she was playing the puzzle exactly like you are playing now. This,
Like Eddie
Trying
Clodo
to
in
lose?
Tekken,
yeah, I was
mashing
like,
all the
wow.
buttons.
Like where? Yes, like where should I put this? It's here. No, it's here. No, it's here. Yeah, there you go. So, dear listeners, we are now watching how
Remo
Remo
lose.
is trying to
Trying
lose,
to lose,
but
and it's hard.
finally he leveled up on this casual game play. Finally, so he can't lose. It's amazing.
But see, this is the power of that game. That after the power up, it pretty much it gives you blocks. And by the way, the revive gives you exact same blocks that will unstuck you. They'll give you like one piece blocks.
I mean, what kind of revive would it be if they gave you like shitty blocks?
More shitty blocks.
That would be terrible revive. Also, there is a banner. It wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's a
you
banner.
play for
They
a
have
while.
banners. They have banners on a 5-second refresh rate, which is super low. So there's so many banner ads. It's nuts. Like this could probably be one of the biggest publisher games in the world. Probably at least top 5.
played
I'd say.
left.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. So we lost, and it goes into interstitial afterwards. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
but
what I
we
wanted
need to absolutely cover this potato anime shit. No, don't you want to cover it, please? Yeah, we should.
It's AI generated creative, nothing else.
Oh, but I'm intrigued. Like, what's this all about? Just click download.
I don't
T,
think
what's
so. This
T?
is a game.
Talkie. Oh, it's an app.
It's an app.
It's
AI character app.
AI characters, yeah, AI avatars.
There we
you
go.
can improve your lonely life. Okay, nice. Not yours, obviously.
Yeah. So this is the classic mode, and see, I can't even go to the main menu. I just can't.
You
I
need
just
to
go
play
back into
more.
it. Yeah. So let's go to the main menu.
Adventure.
There's adventure mode.
I
Adventure
prefer
mode
adventure.
is pretty much 96 level saga. I don't know what happens if you go to the end of it. It has
Yeah, you're gonna be celebrating your 100th birthday. It's gonna be never ending until you guys. It's no way.
Wait, Remo. Look how different my adventure mode is from yours.
this is
Ooh.
also level 5.
No, it's
Oh,
level. Yeah, but this has been here since level like 5. So,
So
it's
the whole
completely
adventure looks different. Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So
Oh,
you have a
that's
raven
interesting.
right there.
So
Raven.
Look at the
shape.
shape.
Oh,
So the thing is that now it has goal objective similar to something like Match 3. This is pretty much their second core that they have in the game, and yeah, I guess it's completely like generated and tested and stuff like that. So it's not really like the same thing. And then we lost.
So close.
Yeah, and if we retry, I think we can still go.
And you know what's really,
There's a banner
really
now.
interesting?
Or train station.
Train station 2. Oh, there you go. It's Google. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess they're running Google. Guys,
Stupid anime.
look at how this looks like. If you compare like how the polished magic sword was and how this
Mhm.
looks like and how much money this makes and how much money they make.
Yeah, polish is definitely not the key here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even though we said it's really
but
good
this is like
to have
when
polished
you
game, but
play
still.
this. Yeah, but when you play this game, it's just like my mind gets in this like beta wave. I get so like in a state of trance almost.
yeah, because
I don't know.
I think the most biggest thing that again the part that is hidden under the surface and why nobody's copying it so easily, blah blah blah, is because UA. We'll cover that later. That's my
Mhm.
guess. And second thing is as Matti said, like AI between the levels, these kind of dynamic difficulty adjustments, the type of blocks that you are given, it needs to be perfectly timed in a way that it kind of goes around, the flow curve of frustration tolerance of being challenging enough but not
Yeah.
frustrating too much, stuff like that. And then actually, if you go into not here, so you can't even get here because I actually found the third core that they have. You've seen classic mode, the adventure, the 2 cores. If you go to classic mode,
More
there's
games.
actually a button called More Games.
What?
Yes.
Yes, and you have this, which is some kind of like hybrid Tetris something. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving these blocks from left to right, and then you see what the new floor will come up with if I do one move. So if I why did I start here? There we go. See?
Ah.
So I can move stuff like this, and then it moves, and that's
Ooh.
pretty much it. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so they have a third core in it. It's and by the way, I don't know why it's hidden because it's pretty good in my opinion. Like why
That's really good.
why do you hide this thing? You both didn't know, did you?
No, of course no.
No.
No, I was
No.
just like, what can I review on this game? Let me review the settings. So I was just going everywhere so I can like have some content because it's so simplistic on the surface. And finally I found it like, oh great, thanks, a new core, we can talk about this.
Yeah, it's so simplistic. You are talking for 15 minutes. Like you just can't stop. You just can't stop.
No,
So
but
come on.
it's really nice. Like I don't know why they don't kind of advertise this much more aggressively or what not, or like do have events around it. But I don't know. It's just like maybe my usual thinking around these things.
Yeah,
So
maybe they
but,
have.
maybe they have. Maybe
That's
they
the thing,
tested
like-
already and doesn't work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or
Maybe.
just or this is how it looks like for you, and then it looks totally differently for others.
So you mean you have
Yeah.
fourth core that I don't know about?
I'm not saying that, but maybe it's in the menu or is something elsewhere. No idea.
Yeah. So basically, if it hits the top, you lose. That's and then you get.
No,
an
but we
anime
just won
character
again. We
created.
just won again.
Yeah, we won again.
Oh my god, this is just great. This is so this fits you perfectly. Fits you perfectly. Yes, I love it. Yeah, okay. So why is this making so much money? Because users and ad revenue, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Uses
okay.
ad revenue and very, very good dynamic difficulty adjustment, probably, which we can't really see. That's
Can-
Yeah.
the point.
Can you imagine if you click on that more games and you suddenly see no Wi-Fi games? Man, and still, I mean, not exactly like those games, but anything around the block, sword, things like this could be so huge. I mean,
Yeah,
not
for
that
sure.
it's not that it's not.
It's
Obviously,
already
but
the
it's- I mean,
Matej,
biggest.
this is already massive.
I know, yeah.
15 million daily active users.
I know.
Do you know how big numbers we're going to talk about now in the ad revenue section?
€8. No,
€8,
of course,
yeah.
yes, no, of course, per second. No, that's too low. That's still
yeah.
too low.
Felix, you want to take it off? Should I play the game in the background?
Yeah, play the game in the background. I mean, it has banners, interstitials, and rewarded. The only rewarded placement is the revive, which I don't think is too popular, at least for the non-hardcore gamers. But I still think kind of there's a lot of videos on how to min-max to get a lot of points, and there I can see the revive rewarded ad actually being quite useful, unless you or if you misclick, for example, or anything like that. But
Can you
I
play
don't
this
think-
offline? So you
yeah,
can.
I played this for 2 hours on a plane, so like
Okay.
yeah, you can play it on offline,
okay.
and yeah, it doesn't fight you at all, right?
Okay.
So how it earns the majority of revenue comes from banners and interstitials. Interstitials are shown after every level, essentially when you finish it, and banners are shown at the bottom. Banners are on a 5-second refresh timer, and let me just show you. Before telling you the ad revenue, their adapts.txt file, if you just give me the screen, Remo. Because
Some kind of a masterpiece.
It is huge.
Huge, obviously.
Yeah. Huge. Like, it's like.
Wow.
I'm not even.
Yeah.
Like, this is.
Your computer will crash from this
Yeah.
if it loads all into the memory.
Yeah. You just download it. It has like 90 gigabytes, like Path of Exile 2.
Huge.
Yeah.
I don't
wow.
know, like maybe they're reselling, but like maybe
There are a
they've
lot of
copied a
resellers,
couple of things,
but
but
still,
like yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
gee.
resellers. That's what it is, right? But like, it's huge. It's huge.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe they have some duplicates, but anyway, like
And
we
you
can
know what
see here.
this means? They have exactly the same thing on the US front. I was like,
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll give you back this now, but that essentially means, if you want to play the game again, Remo, that essentially means that these numbers are going to be huge because, yeah, I've been saying it all the time. But
if
just
you
how
say
huge?
huge, how one more time? Just gonna.
I think this game is making anywhere between 860k a day up to $1 million a day in ads. Because it's such big numbers, and it's such big numbers in the US. Like, it's massive. And that's even with lower ECPMs because there's no IP revenue. But it doesn't matter when you have 15 million daily active users because your users are probably seeing at least 5 or 6 interstitials
So
when
once
they're playing
more,
this.
600
More. Yeah.
between 600 and a million a day.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to.
confirm. Honestly,
Which is
I
IP
think-
revenue. It's like 100% of revenue for this game.
I think it can be even more.
I've heard some rumors that it was a couple of days that was over 1 million, but it's just when it gets to 1 million, it's really hard sometimes to get
Can you get
paid
more?
for all your ads. Yeah.
Can you get more on the ads revenue side than 1 million or 1 million and something? Or
I don't know. I'm sure you can. Like, yeah, lots of
Keep in
big
mind
numbers,
that-
right? But
Keep in mind that if you're ad driven completely, you're not getting the 30% cut on IPs on the stores. So it's a different kind of beast there.
also, what happens when you're this size of publisher?
have
You
a custom
essentially
deal.
also can get. You can also get custom deals, like
Yeah.
the whole rev share, the 30-70 split. If you're this big, I think with every network you can negotiate that. I know you can do that with some networks, but like
They're on Unity.
This is such
They're on
scale.
level
This is
play.
such scale. Yeah, this is such scale that you can pretty much do whatever you want, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, this is
That's
like
true.
normal math stops working for you at some point.
This could
Pretty much.
probably be the biggest ad monetized game in the world. I can't think of anyone else that has 50 million DAO that's ad driven consistently, right? Like hyper
Yeah,
casual
yeah,
days, you
exactly.
kind of had it, right? But like
Yeah, for a week.
this has been, yeah, exactly, yeah, for a week, and then like it died.
And then you drop from the
Yeah.
from the rankings. Like this is constantly in like top ranks, like in all of the geos, basically.
I'm very interested to see what you're going to talk about on.
It's insane.
UA front.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is, like here, like since you have so many interstitial ads as well, like you probably have a pre-bid and a post-bid, and they're probably doing all this wild stuff. At least that's what I've heard the rumor of, that they are very
Can you
freaky when it gets
explain
to it.
pre-bit, please?
So essentially, how the mobile ecosystem is built right now is that everything is a walled garden. So Unity Level Play is a walled garden. AppLovin Max is a walled garden. You can only use the networks that they have approved inside of it. But there's more networks, right? So how mediation is done on
Jakub, are you playing?
like desktop?
No, I'm just
Okay.
looking at the chart of the download.
Okay. How
Who's
is
bigger?
done on desktop? How is done on desktop is essentially before you send a bid or an ad request, you can put something between post bid and pre bid, with basically to increase the prices, right? But that's not allowed or hasn't been allowed on AppLovin and Unity, because basically it's kind of not good for those companies. But basically, yeah, if you're big enough, you can just make your own rules.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, let me just finish here with the biggest game in the world thing
Ooh, biggest game in the
regarding
world.
ads. So
Biggest
this
game
is
in the
the last 30 days for whole gaming
Nice.
sector regarding download. So we see, so Garena Free Fire 33 mil, but we know that this
There's no ads.
yeah, so it's a IP driven game. It's pretty much something close to Counter Strike for those that don't know. Then Block Blast on the second position.
Roblox. There you go.
Surprisingly. And then Roblox, then Subway Surfers, Ludo King,
Ludo
which
King.
also we have a big depth to cover there. We were supposed to cover it a lot of time.
Holy crap. Mini games, Calm Relax
Yeah.
Yes,
is getting
15 mil downloads.
Yeah, we talked about it.
And then Your Horror Spranky Beats with 14
That's-
mil. There
That's,
we
yeah,
go.
that's your your games from
Yeah.
the latest ad placement trend episode. So guys,
Yeah.
please check it out.
Yeah, then there's Pokemon TCG, Squid Game, the new Netflix game, and then Cat Chaos Prankster. I don't know what
It's
this is.
very similar to
I
Horror
can't
Spunky
wait
Beats.
to cover this on the next ad, because this is definitely an ad-driven game.
Oh, it's iCame. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
Cat
So
Chaos
Yeah, iCame, yeah.
absolutely. There's no doubt.
Doesn't want to load. Oh my god, what's
Wow.
this? So you're a cat.
You're a
and
cat.
and
You're
you're
a cat.
destroying stuff. Oh, we'll need to cover this.
Oh yes, man. Like this is
It
this,
looks
rem-
amazing.
this reminds me Goat Simulator basically.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
Goat Simulator with a cat. Why not?
well, like it's like just read the name of the game. Cat Chaos Pranks. Like it
Prankster.
it says everything. It says everything. Yeah.
You go, UA.
I want to
Yeah,
see how they do UA. Like,
Yeah.
how do you get 1 million downloads a day?
Yeah. Would you say
More
like,
than million downloads.
more
than
than
million
more,
downloads.
Yeah.
more. But would you say this company is funding their own UA?
Well, I don't
Oh,
know, Maciej. How
I-
do you fund your UA?
I mean-
do you fund your? Do you use something?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you
Thanks.
even UA?
Do you even
Do you
UA?
even UA?
Yeah,
What do you
even
do before your UA, Maciej?
I UA before my UA, so I did. Well, so by the way, guys, yeah, today's episode is brought to you by our sponsors, PVX Partners, the simplest and the most effective credit line for marketing. So if you're scaling the game and you want to scale your business and need funding, PVX Partners are here for you. No equity dilution, no restricted covenants, nothing. You can repay as you get paid as well. It's very flexible, fast, and fully tailored for your growth. Plus, you can secure the funding within 30 days, so you can actually scale right away. So why wait? Take control of your UA budgets without giving away a piece of your company or selling your soul. Visit pvxpartners.com and check the show notes. It's also the link. They can help you grow faster and smarter. So thank you very much again for sponsoring this episode. And now we can actually go and check this UA monster, because when we were talking about this, and
they must be spending everything everywhere. Yeah.
If you think like how much money they make, I think 80% of that is just spending on UA. Maybe.
So do you think, okay, let's say like, do you think if they're earning $1 million a day, let's just say they're earning that, or 800 or whatever, how much are they spending on UA a day then?
I would say 80% of that is just UA. It's going back to UA. Why not? I mean,
shovel system again?
Yeah.
Yesterday's revenue in 2 days spent?
Kind of, but I mean, that's very unpredictable, to be honest. I don't really like this, but I think this has very tight margin. It's kind of like your usual 10-20%.
It's not going to be your 30%. Like, no, definitely not.
Yeah. It's also, it's a volume play, right? It's volume play, and it's interesting because then you have all the channels here. And if Ad Colony was still a thing, I think that it would be here, but it's not. Anyway, so I just selected 9 to 16, but anyway, we have Mintegral and TikTok on the first spot, and AppLovin and Unity and AppLovin and Mintegral and all of the fun stuff. But it's interesting to see the TikTok here. So if we just go to this one, it's Mintegral, it's playable. So guess what? They have playables. Obviously, if you have these type of numbers, you have basically all the videos. There you go. It's exactly what we just saw on Jakub's screen.
Yeah, that's the classic mode, basically. Classic mode.
And it's just a little bit more polished and kind of scripted, obviously. But I'm thinking if I can actually play this for forever. I mean, I can just try to. Oh, there you go. Because what we discussed with our friends from Boombit, they saw a very good conversion if you run long playables. What long
playables? If you let the user play long playables.
Exactly. If you
most playables, pretty much after 30 seconds break the gameplay.
Start click. Oh, refresh. Okay, I'm fucked. Anyway, so but yeah, I kind of played it for a long time. So back to the long playable. If you let players play longer, it's better conversion, and that's what they found out. Because
because they get hooked. Simple.
Exactly. Yeah, but people think it's otherwise. There's like you just play 10 seconds and then let's get to the real game, because then it's different. Anyway, so we have this, which is a TikTok video. I don't hear actually the sound.
On YouTube, there's also a lot of videos. All the Block Plus videos is all about glitches.
Train your brain and increase your IQ. Where did we see that? Where did we see that?
Impulse. Everywhere now. Everyone is
everywhere,
doing
basically everywhere. So these glitches are great, and we have more. I mean, we can basically watch this. It's all of the different videos, but they have a very good approach to all of these videos. And do you know what I'm going to say next? Because you played the game, and I think you saw all of the videos out there with Block Blast. And it was my favorite.
It's the one where there's like side-scrolling giant blocks, and then you put like one block into this giant scroller, and everything blows out.
How would you call that?
Altered gameplay.
Yes, but it starts with A and ends with SMR. It's ASMR.
Really?
Yes. Like, look. I mean,
it's so satisfying, right?
So satisfying, yeah. And also, like all of these different. Also, if you're counting the playables,
this is the one I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah, but this is a playable. So if you count the playables, this is already, I think, 4th, I guess.
But this is basically Tetris.
This is basically Tetris, yeah.
This is not Block Blast. This is Tetris.
No, but nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares, exactly. And
this is the one. This is the one.
Yeah, but it's not exactly what I wanted to show you. But they have millions of these. all different variations. It's 1 minute long. It's super satisfying, but there's more. Look, that is my favorite.
Feet.
What?
Yeah. This is kind of the
Feet concept.
UGC. Yeah, I've seen this before. It's like super fast-paced gameplay, and the UGC. Hello, ladies.
Super
Okay.
fast because nobody's looking at it.
Of course, nobody cares. It's all feet. But let me just go back to my favorite, Facebook, because this is the ASMR type of thing. This is all the colors, and they have so many of
It's
these.
a rainbow. That's
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the colors.
Pretty much rainbow. It's oh my god, it's like everything, and it's 1 minute long, and they have different visual styles, different perspectives, and
And
all
this is
the
pretty much
different colors.
equivalent to cutting coins.
Exactly. Or cutting soap. Like
Yeah,
if
or
you cut
cutting
the
soap.
soap from the top.
Yeah.
This is, and I can watch this basically for an hour. I can watch this
Yeah.
for an hour. It's very calm, and we have all different perspective. Like it's very nice, but you won't find like any. I didn't find any like super high polished CGI bullshit, because it doesn't really need that.
This is pretty CGI also, by the way.
I mean, it kind of, yes, but still, it's still very much within the whole like art style. It's different, yes, but still, yeah. And you know what? There are some influencers, and all of this
We
interesting.
already
Funny.
divorced? What?
Yeah, of course. With this cake on your plate, Jesus Christ! What?
Merging the cake.
Yeah. Oof. This,
Oh my god.
but like you make all of this money. Oh, hello.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Someone please make a movie like this.
And I want to say you can't find any celebrities or anything like this, because it's bullshit.
No cameos.
I mean, Cameo is not that expensive.
No, but you didn't find any in it. Yep.
This is look. Oh,
Oh, do I see AI right after that?
yeah. 1 sec.
Right.
Look. Oh,
Yeah, we've seen this. Let's
Yeah.
go.
let's
AI?
go.
There's
Yes.
definitely AI.
Definitely,
Yes,
yeah,
of course
yeah.
it is. You can see it.
Also AI hook. not the
AI
video.
hook, exactly. 14 days ago, so it's not that far away. We can try to find like exactly what's the first scene like now, what's new, because that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's who would say that? Block blast and voiceovers and gameplay and gameplay again and gameplay again and gameplay again, because that has the lowest CPI, and this is also kind of borrowed from casual and from Upspace, because they pay attention.
I hate
It's-
when people are recording their screen by another phone.
Yeah,
It's just so annoying.
it's kind of. But this is
I
like
don't know. I just can't help. I just
Yeah.
can't help to say, but like this is probably like when I worked on Tetris for 2 years, right? The issue with Tetris, why you couldn't really scale on mobile, is that you get a ton of organics, but people just want to play Tetris, which is not the best mobile gameplay. That it's hard to build an economy around it.
No.
It's hard to get
very
people
good
back.
gameplay. It's hard to monetize.
It's hard to
Hard to
monetize.
monetize. Okay, monetize. Yeah, hard to monetize. But
And
Block
this is not
Blast just took it to the next level and
Because
knocked
it's
it
not
out of the
Tetris.
park.
it's not the
Yeah.
Tetris.
Not
They
Tetris.
use Tetris only in creatives, which is working for their
No,
in
they
their
actually
favor.
use the Tetris mechanic and
Yes.
iterate on it. That's what's
Yeah.
happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I can watch all of these. No, seriously, like, and I've seen this like million times already, and this was the first time I think I saw it everywhere. Like,
But
a
see,
year
this is
ago-
the
year
this is
ago.
the critical iteration here that they did. Instead of this like time pressure, whatever stuff that you see tension here, Block Blast doesn't have that. You control the thing with those 3 pieces, and you play it like a puzzle, not
Yeah.
as this kind of a Tetris like, let's say, near that experience.
It's kind of, yeah, it comes back to that near that experience, yeah, because it's just going up, and you see like all of the different casual games, they borrow this, I think, from Block Blast, because you have the the tiles going up, and then there's old lady, you just want to go to the toilet but can't because it's all these like safe scenarios, and I think it's just from this game. On the other hand, like this on TikTok, no faces, interesting. Oh, look, so satisfying.
That's it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like it's all here, all of it. 98 pages on TikTok. Yeah, thank you very much.
By the way, that's going to change soon, I guess, in 2 weeks.
Well, that's the thing. We'll see.
Let's see.
We'll see. They have 300 pages on like everywhere, basically. So
Yeah, it's impressive.
they are adding new creatives on Facebook, on TikTok, everywhere, basically. And if you just go to Unity, which is their bread and butter because of the mediation. Yeah. What do we have? Dancing cat. Yes.
Dancing AI cat.
Whatever.
It kind of looks like Maciej.
Yeah, of course. Can you do your cat impression? Meow.
Yeah, can I hear your cat impressions before we move on, and then we can finish there?
Meow.
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 Fuck. So here we go.
Angry cat, Remo.
Angry cat. So yeah, Block Blast and Angry Cats, all of these, and it's interesting because we know is
was that Korean creative?
Yeah,
no, normal one.
Which one do you choose on its video? I want to say they're from China, but I don't see any watermark on their videos.
Maybe they know this being stolen so much it doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, true. They don't care
Or
anymore.
they can just outspend anyone, and they already are outspending anyone, like on a daily basis.
Most probably.
They're wiping the floor with the whole blocks genre.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can spend 800 or 900K a day on ads, right?
Yeah.
Wait, let's just go back to this. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm trying to find like what kind of activities they're running on Iron Source and Unity, because apparently like that's their biggest, or should be their biggest channels, but it doesn't really look like that. Okay, maybe it looks.
Any other content that you've seen, like critically different?
No, not really. It's just all.
So no flying sharks, burnt kings, altered gameplay.
That's the thing. It's like it's all altered gameplay, basically. Come on, everything. All of this is altered. It's just
basically it.
Yeah, but you can't really use all. I mean, you can, but it won't help you to just decrease the CPIs or do anything.
Yeah, because the core itself is hyper.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is the lowest CPI you can get. I mean, you use UGC on this, doesn't really help. Use Sharks, doesn't really help.
Yeah, but this
People
is the thing, as Felix said, like you want to play Tetris or this kind of like blocky style game, and you just want to play it. You don't want to pay in it. Like, why should you? Because it's hard to monetize anyway. So the only option is ads. That's it.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, shall we end?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's all good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back like we always are. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. We really love reading your comments. And we will see you next time for another amazing episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Oh, stop. It's so annoying.
I know, but thank you very much. Join our Slack channel. Bye-bye.